We are back for another episode of 5 Minutes with, and today we are with a solutions engineer, Eric Empson. And Eric is going to be showing us a little bit of the iSolve system. So Eric, what is your favorite part of the software that we use, and what do you think is the most impactful when it comes to our clients?
So I've heard time and time again, Katie, as I do demonstrations for our prospect clients, that they are really enticed by our reporting tool. Because of a single source nature of our database, we're able to pull data from not only employee data, but payroll data, time data, benefit data, HR data. So if I jump into the system here for you, and let me go ahead and share out my screen. So it looks like we're sharing my screen now, and I can jump into our reporting tool. Now, there are two different tiers within the core product. One is called client reports. This is 150 of the most common reports that people typically ask for. And these are all exportable out to Excel, PDF, or CSV file format at any given time here. But you might say, 150 reports, that's a lot of reports. How do I find the one that I need, right? So what you're going to notice here is there's this nice report category filter at the top. Now, I could simply say, you know what? I want to just see my quarterly reports. I hit filter, it's just going to show me those. Now, I can do that off a category feature, but if I say all here and hit filter, it will show me all 150 reports. But then I could key in an actual keyword and say, hey, I need a GL export out of the system here. I just type in the keyword of GL, hit filter, it's going to show me reports that are related to the keyword search that I found. Now, that's all very nice. 150 reports that everybody likes and typically uses, but there's always some times where you just need that custom report or special reports. And I believe our report writing tool here is second to none. What you're going to notice here when we build our report in our report writer tool, a little bit about the navigation you can see on our screen here, is there's a black bar in the middle here that divides up the task, if you will. You can actually save a report at the bottom once you fill it out. And once you save that report, it becomes an item that you can access up top. So really quickly, as an example, I might say, let's actually build a brand new report. So if I select our actual report, I'll be able to pick the type of report. And again, we're just going to call it Katie's test or whatever we want to call our report here real quick if I can type. And then you're going to notice I'll pick the type of report it is. And this is where it becomes very powerful because now once I hit save, now it's an item I can access up top here. And I can select that and I can start building out my report. Now you can see it's automatically added some fields into the report based off the criteria of the report that we pulled. But now if I want to add additional fields, I could either use a search word to find it, or I could use my category filter again. So let's say, for example, you wanted hire date on this particular report. You're going to be able to type in the keyword hire, hit enter, and in any field that has hire in it, you're going to be able to choose that field, move it into the report, and put it in whatever order that you want as well, too. Now, let's say you don't know a keyword. You're just like, I don't know exactly what I want on this report. I'll know it when I see it. Then you'll be able to go to this field category area, hit this drop down, and I might say, hey, let's get some employee data on the report. Once we get to that category, it's going to show me all the fields that are relative to employee data. I can pull whatever field that I want into that report. But again, it's not limited to just one category. You can pull payroll data, time data, benefit data, HR data all into one report. A lot of folks have a lot of trouble with that because they have to cobble a report together from multiple systems. They've got a time system, they've got an HR system, a benefit system, a payroll system. All of this is in one place for you, and you can access all these fields and report off of it. Now, I've shown you the kind of the core reporting, but we've got a nice visual that you're going to notice here when I jump into my view as what's called our People Predictive Analytics view. Now, when I jump into this view here, you're going to notice is that it's built off of dashboards in the system here, but it's highly visual. So it really is a little bit more sexy view, if you will, of the different types of reporting that you can do, and you can drill into any of these different areas. So what we're looking on my screen right now is I'm looking at my dashboards, and I have multiple dashboards set up that we can build in the system. But again, because of that single source nature of the database, we can look at payroll compensation analysis. We can look at turnover in the time in the HR portion. We can look at time and attendance stats or payroll analysis. Again, all of our data is accessible to us here. And even further, it will actually look at our ATS system as well, our applicant tracking, and track candidates as well as employees right in the system as well, too. Now, a little bit about these dashboards is, again, you can move these around into whatever order that you want. So, again, I can change the appearance if I want to change it here. If I actually want to change the view of the report itself, like I don't like that donut view, if you will, I can say, all right, I want to go ahead and change my view if I want to do that. and I can actually drill down into these different areas by selecting that area, and that's going to give me a closer look at that different area, and I'm going to see the employees that belong to that group. And what's really nice is there's this really excellent comparison set. So now I can see a whole group of employees, but now I might say, well, I'm doing some reviews or salary reviews or whatever I might be doing, and I'm going to look at two different people that work in consumer banking next to each other. Now, when I choose those two employees and hit compare employees, now I've got a fabulous list where I can see each of these two people side by side. I can see their absences. I can see their salary. And if there's a field in here you don't see that you want to add, it's excellent. You can just manage fields here. And again, I can go ahead and say I want to add an additional field. And I might say, you know what? I want to know who their manager is. So I'm going to go and add that, add columns here. And now you're going to see it would add that column in my database for that as well too. So, but again, when we go back to the dashboard view, just a little bit more detail I'd like to share, because it's called People Predictive Analytics for a reason, because some of these reports have a predictive element to it. So in other words, it's going to say, all right, here's your number of employees by department as an example. And it's showing me those number of employees, but it's going to look back in the history and see hiring and firing over a 6-month or 12-month trend in the past. And it's going to show you what that actually is going to trend to in the future as well. Now, all these reports can be scheduled, so you can actually send them out to anybody at a given time, a certain time of week if you want to do that. And what's really excellent is these, these reports are in PNG file format. So it's a really exciting visual file that you can move around and use it and intersperse it into other displays. And in any of these dashboards, what you're going to notice when I go back to this main dashboard is I could actually go ahead and copy this dashboard and send it to anybody I want, or I can share a link to the dashboard in the system as well. Or we can, again, schedule out that email and say, when do we want to send that email, built it in there, and then they'll receive that report that way as well. It's really powerful in terms of filtering and configuring. So again, if I go to my filter option, here's where I'm looking at my existing employees, but also I can look at my requisitions for my candidates as well and look at those details. And this is my ability to filter that view. So I might say, well, I only want to look at females, for example, and I'm going to go and take that out, whatever. I want to only see people in a certain city and so on, or different job levels and so on. So this filters my report as well too in the system. Keep this in mind, extremely configurable. We'll build as many tiles into the dashboard that you might need. These are examples of tiles here. And again, when we get to each different tile, you can set reminders on those when this happens. You can download this chart anytime that you want as well too, or copy it as well too. So really powerful reporting tool in iSolved. There's the core that we went over for a couple of minutes there before that shows you the pre-baked reports and how to build custom reports. You can always call support to get help building reports as well too if you don't feel very comfortable. And again, if you get our enhanced reporting module that we're seeing on my screen here, you can really do some predictive analytics and do some comparison sets as well too.
Amazing. So taking anything away, highly customizable and super easy to use, and it's super powerful. So that's awesome. Thank you for joining us. And if you do have anything you want to see more of, we did a really quick overview now. Drop a comment on the LinkedIn post that you're seeing this or wherever you're seeing this, and we will dive a little bit deeper into that maybe in the next episode. So we appreciate you all, and thank you, Eric.
Thank you. Bye now.